I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit vpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. You probably know her as Gloria Estefan from On Your Feet, or from A in the recent Lincoln Center play N.A., or from many TV and movie credits, but what you might not know is she was Grizabella in an all-girls Catholic high school in Miami back in the day. So welcome, Ana Villafañe, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite topics.
I know. So let's start with how we got here, because I think that's hilarious in itself. Is
an origin story.
At BroadwayCon.
That's true.
You came and you were the panel after me, and you were with Eli, right? For
Correct.
Take a Bow.
Yep.
Which is I love Eli. Great.
Oh my God. He's amazing.
But I had just had the Perlman Performing Arts Center. We did the dance, and everyone told me that you were obsessed with cats and that you were so mad you were missing it because you had to do your shows. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, we'll talk. And then I get home and I'm seeing your story, and not only did you post like on the way to BroadwayCon, but you threw in all the Cats music as you could, even though you weren't coming to talk about Cats at all.
No, Cats is just a way of life, I
just
feel.
Everything for you.
Yeah, I'm dying laughing because I have been obsessed with Cats for so long. I've also been obsessed with Andrew Lloyd Webber in general, but Cats in particular, you know, it's one of those shows that if you do it, it's a forever thing. Like,
even high school.
You are a Jellicle, correct. You are a Jellicle cat, and that is it. But you are correct. I went to BroadwayCon in between shows, straight from Lincoln Center and back, and I was devastated to have missed you guys. But I did catch, I mean, pun intended, the tail end.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to just feel the love and feel the energy in the room, and it was great.
We were doing the dance.
I know. I'm so jealous. Wasn't the choreographer?
Yeah, it was choreographers.
Yeah.
You should have come in at the very end and picked it up.
And just started. You could have joined the Jellicle Ball.
The group there, myself included, were not trained dancers.
Right.
Most of us were not ready for that.
I just wanted to give you your moment. Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give you your moment.
Okay.
It was not my moment.
It was super fun. And there's great videos from that.
Yes.
Okay, so give me the history though. Was it pre-high school? Like, when did you become obsessed with Cats?
I mean, look, I've been a fangirl in terms of just like being a theater nerd forever. I did my first musical when I was 9, and it was an Andrew Lloyd Webber show. So you know, I drank the Kool-Aid pretty early, and I would listen to all the different albums, all the different versions, all the different iterations of all the greats, right? So whether it's Starlight Express, whether it's Cats, whether it's any musical, specifically A.L. Dub, right?
Yep.
And when I was a senior in high school, and yes, it was an all-girl Catholic high school run by nuns in Miami, Florida, with no theater, mind you. We had a cafetorium.
Yeah.
So it was a cafeteria with a stage where we did masses. And there was no theater program to speak of, but the director, the choir director wanted to put on Cats. And we all, as a graduating class, wanted to do like The Sound of Music or something, not Cats. But then, somehow we ended up doing Cats, and all the departments came together, and, the art department made the sets and the costumes, and the dance department was involved. Everybody was involved. And when the auditions came, and it was, it's senior year, it's like the big show.
Yeah.
And when the auditions came, I'm a 17-year-old girl, so I want to be a sexy cat. I want to be like, I really wanted to be Rum Tum Tugger, again, since it was all girls.
Yeah, you could have. You had a chance.
So that was my dream. I wanted to be like that hot cat, right? But I got cast as Grizabella, and I was so mad. And it's funny because the girl, Caro Ordóñez, who got Rum Tum Tugger, wanted to be Grizabella, and I wanted to be,
you should just switch.
So exactly. And so it was a really big deal at the time. Like, like that moment of like looking at the cast list after the auditions, and I was like, fuck, I should have sung less.
Yeah.
Like I should have danced more at the audition and sung less. But it all worked out, I actually got signed off of that show, and it led to my career, which is hysterical. So definitely the origin story.
It's like your villain origin story here. It's your Joker.
Really
was that you got Grizabella instead of Rum Tum Tugger.
Correct. And my vendetta ever since has been trying to just
prove everybody.
prove that I can dance too.
I want to go back to, can you imagine being in the room with all the school, like the nuns of the school being like, well, we want to do Sound of Music. And it's like, no, we want to do this story where basically they're all going to crawl on top of each other.
Correct.
And then we're going to sacrifice one at the end. Like,
that is correct.
It's like such an opposite of what you would expect. And your other choice was one where literally the main character goes to a nun.
Correct.
Goes to a nunnery.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that it was easier to not have boys. Do you know what I mean? Because they could technically it was very ahead of its time.
Yeah.
We did a gender neutral Cats, and it was just.
But they were still Tugger, and they were still all of the.
Nothing was changed. No part of the storyline was changed. No lyric was changed. It was just all females. Like, it was kind of a feminist movement.
Yeah. That is so bad. Okay, well, now we got to walk through some of the parts of this, like of this.
Absolutely. Wait, I also have to tell you that. Okay, so for anybody listening right now. Long story, but this interview was supposed to happen approximately an hour and a half ago, but I had left my ID because I switched bags this morning when I was leaving my apartment to come do this. And instead of putting in my wallet, what I did was I brought my unitard from my high school production of Cats. I kid you not. And I tried it on this morning. I was going to wear it, but I thought it would be really weird on the train.
Well, it wouldn't be weird on the train. That's not my worry. I've seen weirder on the train. That is incredible. So we are recording this live, and we're recording this in a very corporate setting because that's where we can do live. So it wouldn't have been weird on the train, but it would have definitely been weird walking around this building we're at. I love that so that's why we're delayed, is because the unitard took place over. But is that from the show?
Yes, that is from my high school production.
Not Grizabella.
No, so I wore this because I had to still do the opening number.
Yeah, Baby
I
Grizz.
had to still do, I had to do, and then this was under my coat.
Okay.
And then this was with, heels, these like silver heels, and my hair was all curly. And dusted gray, but you guys can't see this, but it's gray. We'll take a photo.
Yeah, we'll take a photo of it.
It's all like gray, black, and orange, and striped, and then like the tail is gray, white, and black, and a little bit of orange.
It does feel very Tugger.
Listen.
A little skimble, maybe.
She was a hybrid. But as soon as I put on that dusty coat, it was all Grizz.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is
so you're welcome.
Quite...
I brought a relic.
That is, I'm not only amazed that you still have it, that it's made it from Miami to New York.
Oh, yes.
Do you just put this on randomly?
I mean, I put it on this morning. I literally put it on this morning, and I was like, I should wear it, but there was no way.
No.
There was no way.
But to get in, at least you got into the mindset for today. Mm-hmm. Like, you are ready to go. Okay, so
minus not having my wallet.
Yeah, that's okay. We're here. We're here, and we're making it work. All right, so take me through what the process is like for putting on a show. How many how many actual performances did you do? Did they give you all the story? What do you remember of it?
I remember, we did the whole, the origin of the T.S. Eliot poems and everything, and a lot of studying the film version, what is
1998.
it, 81? 1998.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because 81 is the show itself, right? So 1998, a lot of the film, a lot of studying cats, the actual animal. I was very into that. I was also very into the idea of being disposed, in terms of playing Grizabella and in terms of feeling like the forgotten cat, if you will, or someone who already peaked. And who is
at 17?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I really had to tap into something, but also just that feeling of being ostracized. So that's kind of what I drew from, to be honest, because I was kind of a weird kid and had a lot of things going on that made me feel like I could never really be part of the group. And I loved actually those scenes. I loved coming in that first time coming in as Grizabella. And just feeling so shunned and and I remember because all of my friends are on stage and I'm in high school and I'm just like, oh my God, everyone's being so mean to me. But I did actually really understand her. To be fair, I will say, I mean, for my high school casting department, they did kind of nail it because I did have a lot to draw from.
I mean, I don't want to judge off the rest of your school here, but you have to probably be one of the best singers too. Like, I mean, you very clearly are incredibly talented and have taken off doing this professionally for a long time, that maybe they saw something.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was very much that girl, like with the singing, and I was the president of the choir and all those things. And mind you, I didn't even want to go to that school because I wanted to go to the performing arts school, but my parents made me go to the high school that I went to because my sister went there, and it was a Catholic school, and they told me they didn't want me to end up weird. And I was like, haha, I still did.
Go to Catholic school, it's not going to...
Yeah, I know, exactly, right? But I was always singing. I was kind of anti-choirs. I hated the concept of like blending your sound. I always felt like that was so like mean. I always felt like, why? But like people should sing like themselves.
Yeah.
So singing was very much like my thing in growing up. And so yeah, I guess,
Who taught you the show? Like, was it a nun? Please tell me it was a nun.
It was not a nun. It was Dr. Walter Bussey.
Okay.
Who was our choir director and the music guy at school. But it was kind of us. Like, we kind of took from the show, from the movie, and kind of from the music itself, and from the lyrics and from the score. But
did you get into some of the darkness and craziness? Like, that's a lot for 17. Like, that's
I did.
It's quite
actually.
A show.
Yeah, so I grew up with a disability, so for me personally, I really just injected a lot of that into it.
Okay.
Because I was a kid who couldn't always play at recess or during phys ed and all of that. Like I had to sit out a lot as a kid growing up. So I just took from that, and I took from my own experiences as a kid with a disease for old people, because I've had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 7. So I was like, oh, I get this. Like I actually kind of understand being the one who can't really be at the party.
Yeah.
And I think regardless of being disabled or not, I think actually a lot of kids can understand that.
Oh,
because
totally.
Kids can be brutal.
Yeah, high school is a lot of Grizabellas.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So if you're sitting at the dance not feeling like the pretty girl who everybody wants to dance with, you have it. You have the well to draw from.
Yeah.
For sure.
But did they tell Victoria what she's doing when she's doing her thing? That's,
I don't know.
Again, it's kind of a weird, it's not weird.
Yeah,
it's just
it's a very existential show.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I didn't recognize or know it all before I started this show.
Totally.
What I saw, I was just like, oh, it's well-known dancing, singing.
Right,
but then when I first saw it, there was children everywhere around me. And for a while I joked, I don't think children should see it.
Yeah.
And then as I've learned more, I'm like, there's a couple very clear moments where if you're paying attention or if you know it really well, these are sexual or dark and so I think back to now, I'm like, kids go see it, it's going to go right over your head. But
correct.
You're in that formative stage where it's you're going to get it, you understand it, you know it, and you're probably seeing it. Now you're being asked to do it in front of a bunch of nuns. It's crazy.
I feel that's the beauty of theater in general, right?
Yeah.
You get to kind of pick your own adventure, and the people who stay with it usually are the ones who did go deep into the characterizations, into the writing, into the the subplots and whatever. And then there's the people who are there to perform, and there's the people that are there to do the splits and twirl, which is also fine. There's different levels of storytelling, and I think I from a very young age was always asked to do the crying monologue or whatever. So I guess that was always going to be my thing, and I just didn't really realize it. But I think there's something for everybody when it comes to cats. Obviously, aesthetically, there is so much technique, there's so much visual, there's so much aesthetically going on. It's so conceptual and creative, all of it. And then peeling back those layers, you really find the depth, which leads perfectly to this summer, the cats at downtown.
Yeah.
Which was genius. And I wept. I think I told you actually. I literally wept during the just when I sat down and the music started, I lost it because it immediately transports you. And yes, the music is like a little weird, and it's all a little weird, but you just have to kind of like surrender to it and let it take you, and then you're just you really get taken on that journey. And I mean, I had seen the Broadway revival in what, 2017, 2016?
16 is when it opened.
I went to opening night.
Okay.
And I was, I
missed you by like a day.
Life. Really?
I went to the second or to last preview. That's how this all started. Is I went to that. It was the first time I ever saw Cats anywhere.
No way.
No, I'd never seen the movie, never seen anything. And I had just moved to New York. I was living in temporary housing down the street, and a friend of mine gave me tickets because I was like, what? I was like, I hadn't seen like anything theater. Like I'd gone to a few things growing up when we visited.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm here. I live so close. I know very few people in the city right now. And I called my one friend from college who works in theater, and I was like, what do I, like Les Mis?
Right.
I was like, what do I see? And she goes, well, Cats is about to open. And she's like, hold on. And then like a couple days later, she's like, here are 2 tickets. And we went. And she ended up not being able to go because she got sick. So I went by myself because I didn't know anybody. And I was just like, I'm still going to go. And I walked, again, like processing that show by yourself.
Yeah.
It was a matinee on like a weekend right before the opening. And I walked out being like, what did I just watch? Like, I could not grasp it.
It's like the pinnacle of musical theater.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And so that was kind of how I poked fun of it lightly while also being like, this was like incredible talent.
Yeah, the talent.
On stage.
I mean, you can't not have, I mean, I guess you could. You could have like a really bad production of Cats or anything, really. But that Broadway production, I had never seen it in real life. I had never seen the show in real life. I had only, obsessed over the cast album, learned every single nuance of every single version of whether it was Betty Buckley, Ellen Page, Barbara Streisand, every version of memory that has ever existed I have heard and I have studied. But watching it in real life that first time, you're just so impacted by the level of talent that is
the skill
required.
Yeah,
amazing,
it's nonstop.
Ricky Ubeda as Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah, I mean the cast. That cast is so
that cast
good.
was beyond. Christine Cornish Smith. We bow at the altar.
Yeah, and that's honestly why, again, like why this show's even again still exists is about halfway through me doing the first 10 episodes of the show, I met Christopher Gurr, who was Gus.
Right.
And he was the one who came on here very early on, was like, I can answer your questions.
Right.
And that was like, all right. And that's how we started doing interviews in this show, was because that cast was so open to being like, yeah, let's chat. And I started talking to them most. It's actually still, to this day, I think of all the episodes, they're the most I've talked to besides the 5th tour now. And the 5th tour went for like 15 years or something. So that's why I've slowly accumulated a lot of the 5th tour. But it's the same thing. It was like, that was my introduction really the first time on stage. So I also, because of that, did you do Julian Lin choreography in your show, or was it?
No, it was choreographed by Jessica Hove, by our dance. We had a really good dance department, I will say, at my high school. And so she did it. And then our Monkustrap, Suki Lopez, who's now on Sesame Street. She's Nina on Sesame Street. She, her mother, Maria Verdeja Dance Studio is a very big deal in Miami. And she was a junior when we did it, Suki. And so she helped, I think, choreograph it. We had really, really strong dancers.
Okay. That's amazing.
At my school.
Yeah, because I didn't know the difference when I went there between Julian Lin and Andy Blank Bjork, which is a big thing for some of the like very traditionalists of the show. And I'm like, yeah, it was dancing. Like, I couldn't tell you the first thing about dancing. I was like, it looked hard.
Yeah.
Like, but, okay, so did you also now have, like, did your whole school do it? Like, did you have more cats than you needed? Because when I've heard of high school, I've heard of like they've created characters just because they have 40 people in the program. And they
oh no, this was not, because we didn't have a program really.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you audition, you get in, or you don't.
So did people play multiple cats?
People so let's see, who are the multiple cats in the show?
Well, there are actually some in real life. Like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so there's Bust for Jones and Gus. There's Plato McCavity. There are probably a couple more that I'm thinking of.
Plato McCavity was one girl.
Okay.
Katy San Juan. Also, this is hilarious because like I'm just like going back in my head. Buster Jones was Michelle Faye. Okay. Which, by the way, Buster Jones at the PAC Center.
Oh, Nora.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That voice, that body, all of it.
I loved how they decided to take that direction because on the Royal Caribbean cruise, they cut Bustifer.
Did they really?
Yeah, because they went to 90 minutes because everyone left intermission after Little Memory thinking it's over.
Oh my God,
you
that's
can't
ridiculous.
do a 2-act show on a cruise ship
God.
when no one's paying.
Yeah.
And so they had to cut, and that was Bustifer was one they cut. And so I've always joked like, yeah, you could get rid of Bustifer, but Nora's version you can't get rid of. Nora's
No, you
like
cannot.
that. The way the pack did that was
that was
amazing.
that was a meal. That was amazing. I was so impressed. That and also Javier Reyes.
Yeah, for Jenny
Annie-Dodds. Oh my God. It was literally, he was playing my mom.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my God, that is my mother.
The stage
I
mom
actually wrote to them afterwards. I was like forever changed by your Jenny Annie-Dodds. Whatever.
So
Fangirl.
were you the Cassandra then? Were you like the Emma's character? Like,
I was not.
No?
I was not. So we had
In
a
real
Cassandra
life?
who just...
No, I meant in real life. Like if that's like your actual mom. Is that your personality?
I don't know. I don't know that that's my personality. I know that Javier's version of Jenny Annie-Dodds is definitely my mother's personality.
Okay.
100%.
I love it. So no extra cats, no random things.
No random things. It was by the book. It was
a weekend?
Very, very...
How long?
I think we did a week.
A full week.
I think we did a full week, which is devastating for the amount of work that it takes to put on that show. But
what was the school family like reaction? Like it's got to be a crazy one to have like your peers come to watch, right?
Yes, 100%. Because nobody had any idea like what they were signing up for. Because unless you know cats, you're going in a little blind.
For sure.
And it's just so much, which is what I love about it. It's an unapologetic theatrical experience that serves exactly what it is, whether or not you signed up for it, whether or not you want it, whether or not you are into it. And I kind of love that. I there's something about that level of just being.
It's very.
That is why I think it's such a timeless piece, to be honest.
It's Cat the animal. Like I don't care. I'm gonna knock your drink over. 100%. I'm gonna do this. Like, we're here,
and then I'm gonna perch and stare at you.
You're lucky to be here, and I always kind of do feel like I love that part of the junkyard is like. We're still doing this whether you're here or not.
Correct.
And you're just lucky to be able to watch our ritual. Which I do
you're
think
welcome.
Which is what makes it kind of fun, but also is why I think a lot of people don't get it.
Yeah.
And again, kudos to the Perlman Performing Arts Center, like Cats the Jellicle Ball.
Oh my God.
I think did a really good job of explaining in a way without it, like just by tweaking and by taking away the cats' costumes.
Yeah.
By not putting them in fur and tails.
Right.
It actually explained the story a little bit better probably for a lot of people that otherwise kind of would just make fun of it.
Yeah, I think it translated it into a very real, very relevant, very, again, unapologetic and specific setting, which really, really worked. I mean, that, the Grizabella being like, with the trash bags. Yeah. And like, giving that energy of like a homeless type person and just, again, back to that thread of being the discarded one who the sun is no longer shining on them and therefore they're not important to you or useful. That I thought was really, really powerful, and obviously within the context of the ballroom culture and like I still think about it like all the time. And Andre Shields just coming out and staring at everyone. I could still be giving a standing ovation right now. It's been weeks.
When I went the first time, my whole thesis has been anti-Grizabella. And so when I went the first time and Grizabella walked out, I was like, everybody who's lived in New York has seen someone that looks like the way they portrayed her in the very beginning.
Correct.
And so it's like, I get this. Like, this makes sense. And it actually made it really hard to argue against Grizabella as a Jellicle choice in that context. So, but it was such a, I went to the second preview, I think, the first time. I ended up going a couple times. But the first time I went second preview, same thing, did not know what we were walking into and heard the overture. And I was like, wait, this is Cats still. Like, this is still Cats. Because I was kind of expecting more of a shift. And it was, what I loved about it is it stayed really true. It did. To the story while adding this, like, just, again, a different venue, adding these other moments. And I think telling it in a really cool, unique way. So,
agreed.
Shout out to everybody.
The whole Skimbleshanks, like the MTA was, when they all start, like, jiggling on the train. Oh, my God, I was dying. I was dying.
There's so many parts I love. That is the one that got me the most when I first saw it, is I was laughing so hard. And I had Emma on the show before.
I love Emma.
And she's the best.
Yeah,
and so funny. And I was so confused because I knew she was Skimbleshanks, but she plays Cassandra in the first act. And her Cassandra is even wilder.
Yeah.
I mean, she was, because we were sitting at the cabaret tables, because she was in my face at one point, like just her energy in that point. And then all of a sudden, the flip to Skimbleshanks is unreal.
Beyond.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. Do you remember any crazy stories from doing it when you did it in high school? Like, were there any really memorable moments or nights?
I mean, I remember that the last show I was sick, and so I was drinking Tylenol Cold and Flu from a straw backstage. The blue one. You know? And my throat just felt like frozen. But I remember that. I'm like already kicking myself for saying this because it ended up on YouTube.
So
and there's still a little piece that is on YouTube, but my name is not spelled out, so therefore I can say it and feel safe. I was 17. I'm actually really excited because I'm about to sing Memory again for the first time since then.
Wow.
For the Classic Stage Company Gala in November. And I literally started working on it yesterday, and knowing I was coming here today, I was like, this is hilarious. I was like,
did you put the suit on and you're ready to go?
I should have. Maybe I will.
Get in costume and channel your inner Grizabella.
Exactly. But I think they never leave you. And I think that's a really cool thing too, is that you do these shows in high school. And I was talking about this with one of my best friends the other day. You welcome the chance to ever step back into that, because all the life experience you've had is just going to inform it to go deeper as an adult or whatever.
Especially a role like Grizabella.
I mean, for sure.
Where it's it's kind of, you were able to pull the high school parallel of what that does.
Totally.
The same kind of mindset of it. But the whole point of Grizabella is supposed to be very old and ragged and discarded. And so
maybe there will be another revival when I'm of the age. And that would be my ultimate scenario is I don't know, let's see, in what? 20 years, 30 years.
So Will Rowland came on the show because at BroadwayCon a couple years ago, he was on a different show, one of our other podcasts in our network, and they asked the question, what show could you play multiple roles throughout your career? And Will immediately was like, Cats, and then walk through how he could play. You start at this, then you can work your way through here, and then you end at Gus, and and so I do think Cats is a unique ability to be able to be you could start as Victoria.
Oh, for sure.
Then you can be Bomb Ballerina, and then you could do Jenny Anydots, and then you can end at Grizabella, and it's you could play it 10 times in your life.
Oh, 100%. And it'll track.
And it'll be it'll be different each time, and you'll get a different piece.
For sure.
So I love it. You can
I'm manifesting that. We're putting that into the universe.
But do you want to be Grizabella, or do you want to go be Bomb Ballerina this time?
If I did it next week, Bomb Ballerina. But if also just because I wouldn't be cast as Grizabella. Although they could take a dare. They could make her younger. I mean,
they have.
The reality is,
a lot of the recent Grizabellas have been younger.
Yeah.
And they just put the makeup on. Oh my God. It was Leona Lewis first, and then it was maybe Paris.
That's right.
I mean, neither of them are old by any means.
No, at all.
And then the tours are even younger. You're talking about people in their 20s that are doing it on tour. And so,
okay, then you know what? I rescind my previous statement. I would play Grizabella tomorrow.
Okay.
I would play Grizabella. I've been ready to play Grizabella for most of my life because I as much as I really want. I mean, I think that the fact that my desire to be the sexy cat is so deep is exactly why I'm Grizabella. Because deeply, always, my entire life, I have yearned for that. And it's always been a little. It's for whatever reason never been the case. Yeah. It's park and bark, and which is fine and which is amazing. And I do love that. I love to connect and give the depth and give the feelings and all of that. You know what I mean? So I think that the fact that I'm constantly yearning for that sexy thing, is maybe exactly why I would.
I think the dream scenario though for you is that you get to go do it once, and then you come back after you've been quote unquote discarded.
Totally.
And then you get to come back and do your Grizabella after being no, I did this one time. Let me back.
Right.
So you got to do.
I can do it.
You can do it one time.
Okay, you're
just
right.
One performance. Just go to 54 Below and just sing a couple of them. Okay.
I'll add it into my show on November 7th. I'm doing a show at Soho House, and I'll do Macavity.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'll be there.
Okay, perfect.
If you do Macavity,
I will.
you got to get the other half, or just do both parts.
No, I'm going to
the
do
whole
both parts.
thing.
I'll do it as a
just do it
solo.
all. Yeah, just go back and forth. Put the unitard
The
on.
cat unitard.
Put your unitard on, and just like move the tail from one side to another.
100%.
Depend if you're Demeter or Bombalurina.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to do one quick thing before we go to some rapid fire to end us off.
Ooh.
And our, of course, $1 million question.
Okay, can't wait.
I want to cast a cat into some of the other things you've done. So
Okay.
if we can pick any character from Cats and stick them into the world of some of the other things you've done. So I've picked a couple out.
Oh my God,
I've thought
I'm so
about
nervous.
this.
Okay.
So let's start with Chicago.
Okay, Chicago. And put one of the characters from Cats in it?
Yeah. Who would you put in? Just, pretend that
In
they're
general?
not like Cat. Just like personality-wise. Like who would fit?
Personality-wise.
Who would you fit and how would you like fit them in the story?
Mr. Mistopheles.
Oh, okay. That's not the route I
Razzle-dazzle.
went.
Yeah.
And that's, okay, I went a very different route. I went
Where
Macavity.
did you go? Ooh, okay.
And I was thinking like Cell Block Tango. It's
Got
like
it.
we
Yeah,
can have some
fair.
Macavity in there.
Yeah.
Okay, what about On Your Feet?
Rumple teaser.
Oh, I thought similar kind of mindset. I went with Bombalurina or Mistopheles because I was thinking like who's going to be able to do that kind of salsa dance.
Yeah.
It was one of those two.
But there's a mischief, I feel
Yeah.
like there's like a mischievousness there.
True. What about NA?
Oh, God. NA. Oof, that's a hard one. Into the world or into the story?
Either or. I have a couple choices.
Okay, what are your choices? Because that's hard.
I thought Old Deuteronomy, Monkish Trapper, Skimbleshanks.
You know what's funny is Old Deuteronomy was my gut instinct.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why?
Well, because he's very almost presidential. I don't know. Like,
right?
he's
Like
kinda
there's
like
some
he's
sort
the-
of like leadership.
he's the leader.
Leadership. We need leadership. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what about your upcoming with is it Alana of Cuba?
Oh, Castro's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. I'll say Macavity.
Yeah. So you got the Castro
Lots of
Prime.
villains
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Lots of villains.
I said Skimble because I think someone needs to kind of keep that whole organization in order.
I do agree. Oh my God. It's,
But-
gotta laugh because I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let's do some cat rapid fire. So I think we've talked a little bit about this, but if you could go on for one night, who do you want to go on as?
Bombalurina.
Bombi. Favorite and least favorite cat personality wise? Like who would you vibe with and who would you hate hanging out with?
I would hate hanging out with Monkustrap, I think, to be honest.
Okay.
Seems boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would I love hanging out with? Mungo Jerry.
Mungo Jerry. Just
Again, the mischief.
yeah,
I like
Reef
the
some
mischief.
havoc. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite song from the show?
Memory.
Memory.
I know that's so generic. I know it's so on the nose, but yeah.
And then because I recently saw you in NA, I always ask a fun one. So which cat do you think would thrive in politics?
Gus.
Gus, right?
Yeah.
Gus
100%.
feels like a little too old to be there.
Yes, 100%.
Talking about all the things they did in
Things
the
they used to
years
do.
and years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Okay, my important question is I've argued at length. I don't think Grizabella is the right Jellicle choice. So I want to hear, Anna, who is your Jellicle choice and why?
I know that I'm not supposed to say this, but I think she is the right Jellicle
So give me the
choice.
reason. Like, what's the criteria for being the Jellicle choice?
I think they're all a little bit so dropped into the moment of the Jellicle ball, everyone's like feeling themselves a little bit too much. And I think that like the bullying, I think that the ostracizing, I think that the shunning, I think like remember where you came from a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember who was there first, the shoulders we stand on, if you will, like Demeter and Bombalurina, Victoria, like, and Victoria breaks, but I think that we need to respect the ancestors a little more.
Yeah.
Respect the elders a little more. And why is it that the men who are the elders get all the respect? And think about that. Because Old Deuteronomy, honored, we love, right? Even Buster Jones, who's getting up there, like, and who has literally nothing to add to the table until Nora's version. And then Gus, we're honoring everybody else, but women after a certain age, it's like you died.
Okay.
And that's not fair.
Interesting.
That's not fair unless you're mothering, because Jenny Annie Dots is mothering, right? Like, and so I think the thing with Grizabella is, it's kind of that Norma Desmond theme, right? Like after a certain age, the woman is, okay, bye, next.
Yeah.
But the men are honored and venerated and respected and all the, so I think there's a deeper message there. And I think it's ageist to only uphold that same type of, respect for the male elders. I think female elders deserve it too.
Okay, I like this argument a little bit more because that's such an interesting version of it. It's like very true that like we are lauding over Old Deuteronomy and Bustifer and Gus, and we're like, Jenny, mom, like,
right?
Like we can't get rid of her. We need her. Like,
right?
We won't survive without her.
And that's the thing. A woman's purpose is not only to take care of or to serve or whatever. In my opinion.
So I agree completely. My question though is, why does Grizabella have to go right away? Like it feels almost like if I think back to high school you, on the playground. Like, right, you're finally being accepted to come play with the kids that have been bullying you.
Right.
And then it's like, nope, you got to leave the school.
Right.
Like, why can't you go play with the kids?
She's tired.
So you've finally been bullied forever.
I
you want
know.
to, and then you're not. Like, you can't
but
do
you're
it.
chosen in order to do what?
Well, that's
right?
a very good question. Is what is the Heaviside layer?
Exactly. And I think that. Does that mean, and I guess that's an open-ended question.
Very
right?
much so.
I think I interpreted it as like, in terms of the 9 lives, okay, your next one, you get.
So
like
are
you've
you,
earned.
but are you coming back as Grizabella 8.0?
Maybe. I don't know if it's like in youth again, but with all the experience or like wisdom, even if it's not like frontal lobe, but like subconsciously with that pre-experienced life.
So that's where it breaks
there.
for me. Because if that's the case, I feel like I want her to have one more year with her family. So I want her to be next year's choice. And if I interpret it as death, now with 9 lives,
I see.
But like I'm going to come back as a totally different being.
Right.
And we had just accepted her. So I don't want her to be accepted and then go and be the choice and go back. This is where the Perlman's version kind of ruined it because it didn't feel like death. It felt like going back into the world as Grizabella, which is like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. But I want her to stay one more year because you were bullied, you were like exiled, and now it's like welcome back. And then my version was like, and bye. Like,
right. But maybe there's time. Maybe going to the Heaviside layer is like everybody does know for a period of time. It's kind of like when you're nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, but it's that night.
I know,
like,
but does that mean that they
once
leave?
a year that night? Well, that's the question.
Right.
So if you are. Your argument, I have zero disagreements with.
Right,
except for we disagree on what that. So that's where I argue differently.
Right.
Is if it's going to be like, we're going to send somebody to start next, I'm sending Gus.
Right. I hear you.
Truly, I'm sending, if I'm treating this like American Idol or X Factor, I'm probably sending someone else anyways.
Right.
Because
who's your choice?
Well, I mean, my choice by logic is Gus, based on exactly that. I want the exact same story. And I want Gus to then go because I think he's past his time.
Totally.
And needs it. And it's time to go. And he can now start fresh as a new person. And Grizabella still gets her redemption, still gets to be accepted into our family. But now spends
could be the
the
new
year
Gus, like
with
where
the
somebody
family.
else is like, look at everything she used to do.
Look at how great she is. We love her.
Right.
I really want an audience voted version because I think that would be really fun. And I think it would also bring some really fun to the cast of like I was at a show the other day and it's the person I had interviewed for this show. They had their whole like 100 dance students there. And let me tell you, the energy every time she was on stage was insane. And I keep thinking like, imagine if we did an audience vote.
Right.
Then like she's Rumpelteazer or whatever could go that night because they got 100 students cheering for them. So I do think that that's kind of fun of like who brought it, who had a different like energy, who did does this city skew a little bit more towards being Tugger fans or towards they really embrace Monkish Trap. Like I think that maybe city by city on tour would be that way.
Yeah.
So that's what I really want. My original joke, what started this whole thing was I saw Leona Lewis and I saw X Factor.
Right.
X Factor created Fifth Harmony and One Direction by bringing a bunch of individuals together. So I was sending Tugger and Mustaflis together. Send them up.
That's the boy band.
Boy band. Yeah.
That's the boy band.
Yep, I want the two of them to go, and they leaned into that at PAC, which was great. Mm-hmm. But that was my vote.
How did you feel about the movie?
Which movie? 2019.
Yes.
I I think there's a good movie there if they re-edit it.
Oh, wow.
I do think that
I haven't heard that review.
That's my review. I did see, I mean, I talked to somebody recently who's in it.
Yeah.
So they were McCavity Girl. They're in Moulin Rouge. Sophia Carmen-Jones, amazing. And it was kind of interesting to hear how like they thought about it. My gripe with that whole movie from day one was they have some of the most talented dancers you will ever find. Andy Blankenby were doing the choreography.
Agreed,
and you couldn't see it.
I know.
Because of the way they jump around. Like I even rewatched her scene trying to be like, all right, where, and I was like, she was just there and then it jumps me. So I think if they just would have zoomed out a little bit on some of those scenes.
And allow it to be almost the stage version a little bit
Yeah, and you can
more.
still do some versions of it. But like, I think if you would do that, it would have been much better.
Yeah.
In that sense, because you would have seen the talent that they had in that cast come out a lot more. There still would have been some of the, like, it is a little over the top and ridiculous at times. The CGI was a little crazy. Some of the distortions of proportions. And I mean, like, I could have got over all of that, though. Because, like, it's still cats.
I was a happy person at that premiere. I was, because again, it is such like part of my lore that I'm obsessed with cats that like, that's the only reason why I was at both the opening for the revival in 2016 and at the premiere.
You're like, I'll be there.
Because I got invited just because of my obsession. Yeah. Because I've been so open and so like
vocal about it from day one.
About the championing this musical.
We went to a press viewing like the week before the premiere. Yeah. And it was not done. You know, like at that point they were still kind of working on it. It was very strange. A lot of it just seems like there were some people, I don't know who, but there were some decisions made that like honestly ruined it for a lot of like really talented people that put together probably like there are some really great performances in there. Yeah. And I just like, I feel bad because it became a complete laughing stock. It's again why this happened is I saw the trailer. Right. And I made a joke. I made the joke about Grizabella being the wrong Jellicle choice, and the movie was going to set the record straight. That is the genesis of this entire show. Wow. Was that trailer.
And look at us now.
Because, five plus years later.
Well, and embarrassingly, I like went up to Sir Andrew at the after party at Tavern on the Green, and I was like, I am just so obsessed with you, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you remember me. He's like, of course I remember you, because we met at the White House in 2016 when we were doing like a Thanksgiving thing, and I don't remember what show he was. I think maybe he was there with Cats.
It's probably Cats, yeah.
And I was there with On Your Feet, and I was so embarrassed that he even remembered me, and I was just like, this was the day. This was the day. Like I never have to do. There's nothing. I can't top that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like,
what's your dream role from any of his shows? Let's take Cats out.
I've always wanted to play Norma Desmond. Yeah. I cannot wait to watch Sunset Boulevard now that it's here. I wanted really badly to see it last year in London. I think Jamie Lloyd is a genius. I'm actually really excited to hear Nicole on the entire score, not just my favorites. I grew up singing As If We Never Said Goodbye. I also, honestly, I think that Mandy Gonzalez is going to be absolutely, like, I'm going to have to go for each of them. Yeah. You know, for Nicole, for Mandy, and for Caroline Bowman. I think that those voices between Nicole, Mandy Gonzalez, and Caroline Bowman, like, that is fierce.
Yeah, that show is going to be, I have not had a chance to see it yet. I'm excited. Yeah. Another Grizabella. Up on stage.
Exactly correct.
And Nicole.
Exactly correct.
This has been so fun. How can people stay in touch with you on social media and all the other things you're working on and doing?
So fun. I am mostly on Instagram, I want to say. Instagram and Threads, Ana Villafañe Official, and TikTok. But I pretty much forget that I have TikTok. And then every month I remember and go on for one day. Yes. But I'll get better. But I'm very excited to come back on stage and to be bringing Sinatra to Broadway and to continue being a little Jellicle cat on my free time, you know? Yeah, we're going to manifest a Grizabella in your future. Yes. That's 100%. The goal. I'm so glad we got to do this. Thank you for taking the time. And thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any else list of podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok and Threads at The Wrong Cat Died, or check our website, thewrongcatdied.com.